So this is the CTL NL73TW Chromebook 2-in-1. Feels pretty rugged, or not rugged, I should say, sturdy. I'm gonna move my phone here, sorry. Feels pretty sturdy right now. Got my glasses on my head so you can see my face. The problem I have with it is there's no rubber here. I would love to actually do some drop testing and destruction testing on this, see how it holds up. I'm worried about that. But overall, it's a decent laptop. It folds, screen folds all the way back to tablet. The company did give me permission to take this apart. So as you notice, I've got some screws here. I've already started taking it apart. Basically, you have 1, 2, 3 screws on the side or on the back, 2 screws in the middle, and then 4 along the front. Now the 4 front ones are kind of in at an angle, so they have to come out. Then after that, we're just going to take a spudger around the edge, or a guitar pick around the edge, and take this off. So I'm going to do this video in sections, and I'll show you how this works. All right, so I just removed all of the case screws here on the bottom. Basically, I just took the spudger and went around the edge. If you've taken one of these apart before, it's pretty much the same. You do have to go around the back there. So there's right here at this hinge and right here at this hinge. And then basically you just lift up and it comes off. Now, I haven't taken the bottom off yet, so you're going to see it as I do. So I'm just going to lift this up, pop this off to the side, and this is what our case looks like. Okay, so it looks like there's 2 screws here that hold in the battery, 4 screws. I'm seeing 4 screws that hold in the battery. Here's our speaker cable on both sides. Now, just at a glance, I don't know if you can see this, but it doesn't look like it's plugged in all the way. Maybe that's just the way it seats. Kind of looks a little tilted, like this side's a little closer than that. But we'll see how that goes. This was the this was my concern, that this was unhooked. There is, it's hard for me to tell if someone's been in here, but it doesn't look like that is. Just gonna take this up a little bit. Right there, this plastic piece. I hate to do this because it actually rips the paper when you remove this plastic piece. And it's a good thing to have. So I'm trying to do it very, very gently as to not tear any part of their labeling. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle this a little bit. And there we go. All right, so I got that. That is down. I don't know if you can see that, but that is down very nicely, which makes me wonder why I wonder if this is a bad card. I'm gonna have to reach out to the company and find out why their Wi-Fi is so slow. It's only registering 88. But onto the other side. So on the side here, we have a couple ports. Okay, so you see here's our headphone jack, USB-C micro SD card. That's all built onto the motherboard, which is nicely covered. And it's probably, you can probably see in the video, it looks like you can. This is all covered in plastic, which is going to be nice to help prevent some moisture from getting into this. Then we have this daughter board or IO board over on this side. Looks like there's 2 connections here, and it says USB, so that's for our USB-A and USB-C ports on the opposite side. It looks like nothing in here. I'll zoom out a little bit. Nothing in here looks overly complex. You just have the motherboard, which is held down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Looks like that's all there is. And then there's 2 screws there for my heat sink. We have a ribbon cable up top. Here's our LCD cable. It's got a pretty nice, nasty kink on it right here. Be curious how that holds up. And then you got a spring for our hinge here. There's our 2 hinges. And like I said, we got USB-C and USB-A over here, which is easy. But if we bust a headphone jack, that basically leaves us with, because it's built onto board, that leaves us with going ahead and buying a new motherboard or using one of the USB-C ports. But we do have multiple USB-C ports that look like they can be used for charging. I'll have to test that, see if that works. Battery's nice, one piece. So overall, it looks okay. I'm going to grab my screwdriver here real quick. Thank goodness I can do it one-handed. And I'm just going to pop this battery out. Okay. Well, this is really hard to do one-handed, people. Really hard to do one-handed, but I'd like you to see kind of what I see. Probably should get someone else to film, you know. Call all my employees over here. You know, that's a joke. Anyways, all right, so remove the 4 screws. Let's kind of lift this battery, see what we got. Obviously, I know it's connected right here. I can just tilt it up. So here's my keyboard ribbon cable. And here is my palm rest. Looks like there's just 2 screws holding the palm rest in. That will kick out. It's got 2 hinges here. So it's going to kick out right there. So it's not the 3 screws I'm used to. Looks fairly simple. The one thing I will say by glance, if you can't see it, this looks like plastic rivets. Man, it's got nice moisture barrier on it. Nice. I like that. I'm just peeling this back a little bit so I can get a glance at this. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. It almost looked like they were screws, but they're not. It's just melted plastic, which means this keyboard probably is not user replaceable. It means you're gonna have to replace the whole top case, not just a keyboard. Anyways, I did miss these 2 screws when I was doing the count. And there's 3 screws on that side. Anyways, that looks like the interior of this Chromebook. These springs, curious how well they hold up. Well, they'll probably do okay. It feels really tight, movable right now, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so that's this part of it. Let me see if I can get the screen off and see what that looks like. Okay, so I just put all the screws back in. Everything's back in, nice one piece. So if CTL is watching this video and they're interested in it, everything is back in place. So the next step here, if I open this up, pardon my screen, I'm going to try to remove this screen and see what it's going to take to fix it. I showed you the hinges on the inside when we took it out, so I know how that comes apart pretty easily. My next question is, how does this, okay, this touchscreen, how easy is it to replace? Well, let's find out. So I've started disassembling the screen, and basically you just take your spudger in here and you just slide it along this edge and it pops the screen up. Okay, you work around this bottom piece, you can see that there's actually a gap here that I've already got. I'm doing this real careful not to bust the digitizer because I don't know how sensitive it is, but I wanted to kind of show you that. I'm cutting, and I apologize for cutting this, but I do want to do my diligence here and make sure that I don't damage their machine in any way, shape, or form. So let me finish this and I'll come back. All right, so I've finished gliding all the way around along the bottom of the case to separate this. I haven't tried to pull this off yet. Let's see what this does. I can tell you it's pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm gonna lift up easily. Okay, we'll see what we got here. There it is. So there's our screen and digitizer. Now, I'm hinged. I don't know if you can see it, but right here, this is very, very tight. I'm not going to pull it all the way out, but that's the LCD cable that's running along that bottom. I'd probably need to take a spudger right there and just kind of move that cable out of the way and unplug it. So you have to lift this up kind of about here so you can get your hand in, unhook that cable to take this digitizer and screen off. It is one solid piece from the, actually, you know what? I'm going to take it off. It looks like this is one solid piece. It looks like it's one solid order, but I wouldn't be doing us any good if I didn't actually check it out, would I? All right, so let me take this off. So it turns out I actually didn't have to take it all the way off. I can just tilt it a lot further. I don't know why it was so tight in the beginning. So just because this is a demo unit and I want to return this in one piece in like new condition, I'm not going to tear the rest of it down. You have to forgive me. There are a couple, let's see if this will let me lay it flat. There it goes. That cable is really, really tight the first time you take it off. It does loosen up, but it's really, really tight. Okay, so that was concerning to me. But you'll notice there's a clip here, 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 and here. Those are your cable connections on this. Now, these two clips, I should clarify, they go to the screen. Now, this screen is attached. I mean, you can almost see, if you look really closely, some glue residue here. I believe it's glued down. I have tried getting it off and I can't, and I've done all I'm going to do with a demo unit. If I can get a model that they'll let me destroy, we'll dig deeper into this, because I do have some serious questions about how this is going to hold up. But that's the screen. So if I need to replace the digitizer, I'm really looking at replacing this cable here, popping that cable off, this one and this one. These are connected to the board automatically. They should ship that way. Okay, and this runs up, this is my camera cable, runs up to my camera mics here, which are very, very tiny in comparison to one I'm used to. And then you've got your hinges here. Hinges look pretty decent. I mean, I like that they're using these large screws. It's got one here that looks more solidly built than some of them I've seen. The Wi-Fi cables run right up here behind this hinge, up and around, and you'll notice there's a Wi-Fi here, one right there. So that's pretty much it for this model. I'm going to reassemble it. I promise you I will try to see if I can get one that I can destroy and see how it holds up, but you should know how it comes apart now. It's surprisingly pretty easy. I have to see what parts cost, like this digitizer, and see about that, but this would not scare me to fix at all. It is pretty simple to take apart. I didn't see anything that was overly complex. There's no glue that I would be fighting with. So overall, it's okay. Again, based on this teardown, I would love to see how it holds up. So I'll put this together, kind of show you it one last time, and that'll be it. Okay, so here we are back together. There was nothing shocking about it. The digitizer and the screen went back on, piece of cake. No problems at all. We have our finished Chromebook here. Now, you'll notice there's a camera up here, but there's also one right here on the keyboard. So if we fold this back into a 2-in-1 situation here, okay, sorry about that. You'll notice that we've got a camera right there on the bottom that we can actually use. I mean, feels okay. Ports on the side there. And then we got some ports on the top. Okay, so I flipped this back over, and when I flipped it back over, I was looking and I noticed this little gap right here. Okay, so what I did was I closed the lid and I flipped this over, and I noticed that if I pulled right here, this is actually a carrying handle. Okay, it is very tight. My fingers kind of hurt trying to get them in there the first few times. So is that cool, or is that a little gimmicky? For me, I'm kind of leaning more towards gimmicky, but hey, if you want a carry-in handle on this, it has one. I think most kids just carry it by the screen anyways, but it does have one. So overall, I mean, I think this is a decent computer. Spec-wise, it's spec'd really nice. The screen's nice. It is a little flat in the colors. Like if you look at the icons and stuff, the colors are a little flat, even for a glossy screen. I don't know, I'm focused on my Mac here. But it is a decent computer. I am super, super curious how this holds up to a drop test. I just think I'm going to destroy it really quickly, but we'll have to wait and see if I can get approval to do that. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the CTL NL73TW. Okay, thanks.